Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the hidden stories that corporate filings try to keep buried. Today we're diving into Tofutti Brands Inc., and let me tell you, their latest report has some interesting votes from shareholders. So what we have here is an 8K filing, which is basically a report on major events that shareholders really need to know about. Think of it as a company's breaking news announcement to the public. These are usually pretty important happenings before we get into the nitty-gritty. If you like getting these kinds of no-nonsense breakdowns of corporate jargon, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to join a community of like-minded folks dissecting these filings, check out our Discord link in the description below. Alright, the main event in this filing is all about what happened at their annual shareholder meeting on the 18th of December 2025. Now, shareholder meetings are where the folks who own a piece of the company get to vote on important stuff and have their say, and it looks like Tofutti Brands Inc. had a few key things on the ballot. First up, they voted to elect 4 new directors. These are the people who are supposed to steer the company and make sure it is run well for the shareholders. Let's look at the numbers. For Joseph N. Himi 350, 8581 votes were cast in favour, with 109,658 votes withheld. Scott Corman received 3,508,009 votes for him and 110,230 withheld. Ephraim Mintz got 3,508,092 votes for and 110,147 withheld. And finally, Franklin Snitto saw 3,508,092 votes in favour and 110,147 withheld. What is interesting here is the number of broker non-votes, which was a hefty 982,363 for all director elections. This means that some brokers who hold shares on behalf of their clients did not vote on these specific director elections, likely because they did not receive instructions from the beneficial owners. It is a significant chunk of potential votes that weren't actively cast for or against the directors. Next, they had a say on pay vote. This is where shareholders get to give their non-binding or advisory opinion on how much the top executives are being paid. It is like a report card for executive compensation. The results here show 349,561 votes in favour, 118,780 votes against, and 4,318 votes to abstain. The say on pay got a pretty strong nod of approval, but there is still a notable portion of shareholders who voted against it or abstained, and that is something management should definitely pay attention to. Following that, they voted on the say when on pay vote. This isn't about the actual pay, but how often shareholders want to vote on executive pay. They had options for every 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. The overwhelming majority here, 29,39785 votes, chose a 3-year frequency. This suggests shareholders are comfortable with reviewing executive compensation less frequently, perhaps indicating a belief that the current system is working or that they trust the board to manage it. Only 668,111 voted for a 1-year review. Finally, they ratified the appointment of Rosenberg Rich Baker Berman, Pennsylvania, as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for the fiscal year 2025. This is a pretty standard procedure, where shareholders approve who will be auditing the company's financial statements to make sure everything is on the up and up. The ratification received a massive 450,3584 votes in favour, with only 76,085 votes against and 20,933 abstaining. There were no broker non-votes reported for this item, meaning brokers were able to vote based on client instructions or their own discretion. This is a strong show of confidence in the chosen auditing firm. Now, looking at these results, what is the story here? The election of directors passed with a good number of for votes, but that large number of broker non. Votes means we don't have a complete picture of everyone's sentiment. The say on pay shows general satisfaction with compensation, but again, the votes against and abstentions are signals. The strong preference for a 3-year say when on pay cycle means this topic won't be put to a vote as often. And the ratification of the auditors was a clear win. My take on Tofutti Brands Inc. based on this filing is that while the company is moving forward with its governance and operational approvals, there are always nuances, the sheer number of broken non. Votes on director elections suggests a large portion of their shareholder base might not be actively engaged, or that there is a communication gap. The compensation votes, while largely positive, also show a segment that is not entirely satisfied. The clear mandate on the frequency of pay votes is interesting and suggests a desire for stability or trust in the current process. The ratification of the auditors is a crucial sign of stability and an indicator that the financial reporting process is on track. However, without seeing the actual financial performance in this specific filing, it is hard to draw deep conclusions about the company's overall health. This filing focuses more on corporate governance and shareholder actions. A key takeaway is the need for greater shareholder engagement, especially considering those broken non-votes. A company's direction is heavily influenced by its board, And understanding the full shareholder sentiment on director elections is crucial for long-term success. Alright, that is our breakdown of Tofutti Brands Inc. Its latest filing. What is your take on these shareholder votes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.